Everyone has a story to tell. It's my mission to tell it. Unscripted, unedited. We are on the record. Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Sarina Fazan. You know, we love this show because we also love highlighting so many of the positives in this community, and one organization that certainly brings a huge smile to people's faces, Big Brothers, Big Sisters. And it is my pleasure and honor to have here today the CEO of Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Tampa Bay, Stephen Koch, and the Vice President of Marketing, Tyler Wilson. Guys, thank you so much for being here.
We're thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Gosh, and I have to say, Tyler reached out to me and said, Sarina, you have to get us on your show. Good job on the marketing part, because this is great. So let's turn to you first, Stephen.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, and you've been with the organization for quite a while.
Yes, so I became a Big Brother the first time in like 92, 93. I was recruited to be a Big Brother to a young boy named Paul, who was 7 years old at the time. And that's how I got involved, and then was recruited to be on their board of directors. And then on August 1, 2002, I became the CEO here, and I've been in that role ever since.
Isn't that something? Okay, I want to point that out because, Tyler, you're also a Big Brother as well, right? And you were with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office.
That's correct.
And decided to move on over.
That's correct. So same thing. I started as a Big Brother, and to my first, when I was just started in college, actually, I was 19 years old, and it was a really fun experience and a great organization, so I stayed involved, and I actually got my second little brother, Chris, who I'm still involved with now and who's in college in Miami, doing great. And then as the opportunity presented itself over the last year, I came to join Stephen and devote my time full time to the mission and really see what we could do to see if we can match some more kids.
Gosh, that's so wonderful to hear that. So Stephen, speaking about the mission, tell us about the mission of Big Brothers Big Sisters.
You know, our mission locally here is the same as our mission nationally, for Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. And that is, to provide a quality one-to-one mentoring experience, with a child who could really benefit, from that relationship of having that additional male or female in their lives. And so we do that in a very structured and safe and organized way that really produces some powerful outcomes for these kids.
I think the best way oftentimes to show that is through video and stories. And I know the national organization started more than 100 years ago, 1904, I believe.
Yeah.
And 1964 was the Tampa Bay chapter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So why don't we go to a video now? And we actually chose your Big Sister video because we have two Big Brothers here.
Great.
All right, so let's watch that.
When I first met Asharia, it was actually after school. It was during the week. And so I just remember sitting there, having the time to get to know her and meeting her mom, her brother. Mom was pregnant with her baby sister at the time. It was a good afternoon. Actually, we hit it off really quickly.
When I first met Chandra, I really wasn't sure of what to expect. But now that she's in my life, I'm kind of glad that my mom actually put me back in the program and that I actually got to meet her, because she's an amazing person and it's incredible.
I got the choice, thank you Big Brothers Big Sisters, of being able to choose my match. They gave me two options, and so I specifically picked Asharia because she was a teenager, and I know teenagers are harder to place. And then also because she has diabetes, and I have several family members who also have diabetes, plus being a mental health profession, I see kids who have problems controlling diabetes, so I wanted to make sure that she wasn't left in the mix. So I purposely picked her, so I was super excited.
When I first started doing Big Brothers Big Sisters, I was in a really hard spot with foster care and my health. She has just put me around these amazing people that just helped me realize I want to be here, and I want to do this, and I want an amazing career that she has. For example, I want to go to USF for hospitality and business management, and she has let me meet these amazing people that are in the career, and I can't thank her enough for how much stuff that she has just given me, and then the opportunities that she has just put me through. What I'm doing now and the support that I have, it's because of Chandra.
As a big, I am extremely proud of Asharia. She has grown so much. I can take her out. She networks really well. I have taken her to volunteer events with actually the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, and she loves it. She's gotten to meet like some of the Tampa Bay personalities, and she does such a great job of networking with them and just being able to engage. I'm blessed also just to be a part of the process, and just so extremely proud of her, her mom. I want to honor her mom also in this, because, you know, she definitely is doing all she can for her and her siblings.
It's just a blessing to have to get to meet Chandra and her family and everyone that is around me that has just helped me. If I would have never got back into the Big Brother Big Sisters program, I don't know where I would be right now, like mentally and physically. So I'm just happy that she's like in my life.
I've always wanted to be a part of this organization. For me, I grew up with mentors, and I know that I haven't become who I am without having great people who have poured into my life. So it was something I wanted to do. And I remember getting the call, and it was at the time that my mom had just been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and going through that process. And I was like, is there, like, can I do this? Can I not, you know, at the same time of having this major life event. But I realized that by doing this and, you know, giving, you know, to other kids, that it would be able to be helpful for me and being able to manage the stress that I was under. And just as much as I have been able to pour into them, they have poured into me and my family also.
I just love seeing those stories, because when you hear that, you see it. When you see it, you realize the profound effect. And as you both mentioned, you're both big brothers as well. How many big brothers, big sisters are there in the Tampa Bay community?
So last year we had just over 2,100, which actually is a low number for us. Pre-pandemic, we were typically over 3,000. And we're striving to get back to that level right now, because there's so many kids who want one and need one.
Absolutely. So how many counties does our local chapter cover?
We actually cover 9 counties now. So we are in Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Polk here on the south side, and we continue to go north through Pasco, Hernando, Citrus, Sumter, and now we're even covering as far north as Marion and Alachua County, so up near Gainesville and the University of Florida area. So that's a new and exciting area we're able to make an impact.
Absolutely, and one of the big reasons why we wanted, of course, to do this show is not only highlight the organization, but going back to you, Stephen, what you said about the numbers of big brothers and big sisters right now, 2,100, and that's why I wanted to ask the question about the counties. Hopefully, people will share the show, and we can get more big brothers, big sisters out there. What are the qualifications, or what does someone need to do to become a big brother, big sister?
You know, first and foremost, you got to have that passion of wanting to help kids. And we're looking for people who will do what they say they're going to do. You know, we ask our volunteers just to spend 8 hours on average in our community-based mentoring program, where you pick the child up at their home and you do things in the community. And then we just ask for 1 hour a week in our site-based mentoring program, where you visit your little at a school or after-school site. And you know, we have a process where we'll interview you. We'll find out your likes, your interests, where you live, where you work, and so forth. And we're going to go through a thoughtful process once you decide you're going to do this and apply, to look for a child that we think you're going to be very good with. And we're not going to put you with a child that is going to be beyond your capabilities, but one where you're going to be able to connect, just like in that story we saw in the video there. And so if we have a little that could really, you know, benefit from maybe coming out of her shell and talking and having some more self-confidence, you know, we might, you know, match her up with a person like yourself who she would be comfortable, you know, opening up to and so forth, forming a friendship with over time, and then developing, you know, herself and her skills in that way. So it's a very thoughtful process. And what we do to really provide some added insurance of success is we provide you one of our professional staff people who's been trained to work with these kids and volunteers, and that's your go-to person and your little sister's go-to person and her parents' go-to person. So any issue that comes up, any questions that come up, you have a person you can call and say, I need some help. I need some advice on how to handle this, and that's what we do.
Well, that's why I think it's such a well-run organization as well. Tyler, so at what age do you think you start looking at these kids, or is there an age?
Of course, yeah. So we begin matching our children between 5 and 12. It's such a pivotal time in their age as they develop into one direction or the other. You know, if they're going to decide to make the good decisions and head in a positive direction, this is the time to make that impact. So that's why we start in those age groups, and we actually incredibly have the ability now. If you start with a match and things continue to progress in a positive way, you can actually stay matched up until the little is 26 years old. So,
wow.
Which is we're seeing now as people are graduating high school, it's not enough yet. They still need some support and things like that. So I've been able to stay with my little, and he's now 21 years old. Steven's littles are 21 years old now. So there's so much still that happens during that time, learning how to write a resume, what credit is. You know, all those things that, you know, we may not have gotten enough of, and especially these kids that are at-risk youth. So not that you have to be, you know, obviously committed for the next 20 years, but we have the ability to, which is a really neat thing to feel like you have that lifelong connection.
And I would imagine even after, you know, 21, 26, I mean, you create such a bond.
Absolutely.
That it would be a lifelong, precious relationship.
It's not unusual at all to talk about, you know, some bigs that have gotten older and so forth, and they're still in contact with their little. They still call them littles, even though they may be in their 40s or 50s, and the littles still refer to their bigs as bigs, you know, at that age. So absolutely, these are deep friendships. These are relationships that really have meaning, and that's why they keep them going.
Something I've always said about that is my little, when I told him that I wanted to get matching tattoos to celebrate his 21st birthday, so we got our, and Steven can show his off because his is what pretty much the coolest because he's the CEO, of course. So, but I talked him into it afterwards. But when I shared with Chris, I said, I think we should get matching tattoos of our logo. He said, well, we're already going to be brothers forever anyway. Why not? And when you hear those things,
oh my God!
When you hear those things from a kid, I mean, that you started knowing when he was a quiet 12-year-old, you know, just this kid from middle school, to now being this adult that's saying things like that to you. I mean, that's what we do. That is what our organization does, and it speaks, you know, it volumes when you hear those things for sure.
And one thing I always like to emphasize, you know, when a parent or someone refers their child to us, I mean, you know, this is the most precious thing in their lives, and this is a big responsibility we're taking on, you know, to help them. But I always emphasize we're not coming in to be replacements for the parents. We're coming in to be supportive of the parent and child relationship, help that develop and grow as we help this little person, you know, develop and grow. So yeah, these friendships are deep and they're real, but we still are very respectful of that parental role.
And Stephen, you bring up a very good point. So to get involved into the program doesn't need to come from the parents.
Ultimately, the parent or legal guardian of the child must agree, you know, to have their boy or girl get involved in our program. But the referral can come from any number of sources. It could come from grandma or grandpa. It could come from a teacher or social worker at school. It could become, you know, from the school bus driver who just has formed a relationship and friendship with this child, saying, hey, I think, you know, little Susie or little Johnny could really benefit by having one of these bigs. And then that starts the ball rolling.
Why don't we, let's stay on that note. Let's go to commercial and come back and delve into this a bit further. Okay,
great.
Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Label Swap is a retail store that you can bring in the items you don't want anymore. We will buy them for either a cash offer or store credit, and you can also shop the items as well. We carry anything from H&M, Lululemon, up to your luxury items like Gucci and Louis Vuitton. There's nothing really around like it here in the market. It is a fun, personalized experience.
So tell me about your skin. What bothers you? What are you trying to improve on?
Sammy's getting some self-love thanks to the Dream Team. Those teen years are the perfect time to start.
It's good for giving them that boost of my skin looks great. It helps with the confidence, also helps kind of clean out their skin, their pores, give them that kind of jump start, so hopefully they start taking care of their skin before they get into the acne-prone age.
South Tampa Dermatology offers a number of options to keep your teen skin healthy and glowing.
So this is a light stimulating peel that is good for no downtime.
And getting facials with my 14-year-old is not just good for our skin, but a great way to spend time together. Hi everyone, I'm Sarina Fazan and welcome back to On the Record. We're here with Big Brothers Big Sisters today, sharing a lot more about that program with the CEO, Stephen Koch, and Tyler Wilson, who used to work at the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office.
That's right.
And we were just talking about how you become a big brother or big sister. And Stephen, you were discussing on how it doesn't necessarily need to come from the parents. It can come from any adult mentor. So Tyler, turning to you, did you see a lot of that at the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office?
So obviously, mentorship is important in any role. We actually have a program at our agency, which is very cool at Big Brothers Big Sisters, that actually focuses on law enforcement and first responders, which is actually very neat. It's called, started as Bigs with Bigs in Blue, obviously being the blue color of law enforcement, that kind of thing. But it's kind of grown to accept a lot of different people from everything from military backgrounds, retired first responders, firefighters, even state attorneys and other areas of law enforcement, that actually focuses on those folks and actually uses their relationship with the community to actually form a relationship with one of these kids that can actually strengthen that bond. So me, obviously as a law enforcement officer, having that relationship with my little changed how I interacted. It changed how I worked on a daily basis. I mean, it honestly changed your perspective on a lot of things. And when I saw those kids getting in trouble, I didn't see, color or age or anything. I saw my little, no matter what. I saw Chris. So any interaction I had with them, I started from that standpoint. So I think it's very important for all law enforcement agencies to get involved with a program like ours for that reason. And anybody from any walk of life, because it's going to shape your reality just as much as it does the child. I mean, any big you ever ask is going to say, "Oh, I've gotten more out of it." We hear it. I wish we could probably make shirts of it, because I've gotten more out of it than the little has, because it's true. You really learn so much from these kids, and they change who you are for the better, which is just such an incredible experience.
And honestly, it's like, do good, you feel good.
Absolutely.
It just spreads more positivity.
Absolutely.
And earlier in the show, as you mentioned, Stephen, we have 2,100 right now in our area, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, but that's lower if people are joining the show than we usually see. It's about 3,000 or above. Why do you think we are lower right now? I mean, is it clearly because of the pandemic?
It's solely because of the pandemic. We all went through this terrible experience together where, we went from, not knowing what was going on, being told stay at home, and so forth, to, to the point now where we're almost getting back to normal operations. But during this period of time, I think we all went through this change where we got used to staying at home. We got used to not going out as much to restaurants and going out to shows and volunteering and doing things. And so what we're trying to do now is really convince people it's very safe to come out and do this one-to-one mentoring. I mean, it's one-to-one. You're not dealing with a large group first and foremost. But the pandemic is definitely at low tide right now. And the kids, I think, have suffered from the pandemic probably more than almost anybody, from the isolation issues and the going background in their learnings and their success in school and so forth. And so, we have always felt that being matched with a big sister, big brother was a powerful thing, but now it's super powerful. And it's powerful because it's simple. When you get together with your little and you start doing things, you're going to figure out real quick, oh my gosh, my little sister has never seen the Gulf of Mexico before. And so you went for a day at the beach, which was something quite regular and traditional. For her, it's the first time she has seen that body of water and put her foot into that body of water. A lot of times it's the first time they've gone into a restaurant where you have silverware. It's the first time they've gone into a movie theater, to see a show. I mean, and it's just like This is fun stuff, but it's also powerful stuff.
Right, and to see their little faces light up, I mean, that is priceless.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, though, is there any type of financial commitment on the big brother, big sister part, or is there some help that they get from?
So we really emphasize low cost, no cost activities with the littles, because we don't want this relationship to be based on you as a volunteer buying things, for the little, and them getting used to that and accustomed to that. Sure, when you go out to a restaurant, you're going to buy them food to eat or get them something to drink and so forth. But we as an agency will work with you as your relationship grows to provide you opportunities for outings. And for example, the Tampa Bay Rays, give
Wonderful
us all
organization.
Yes. They give us tickets for their games and opportunities to do things, at Tropicana Field. The other sports teams, do the same. And in fact, we have a program called Sports Buddies just to emphasize that. But we can come up with all kinds of ideas for you that are going to be no cost, low cost to do, with your little. We organize some of these events. Some you can just do on your own. You can spend money on it, but we really urge caution in that area.
And that completely makes sense. Speaking of money, though, Tyler, you actually brought in something today because you guys are a nonprofit, so we have to raise money to help you guys. So let's put this up, actually. So this is a Florida license plate that people can request. Tell us about this and tell us how this is so helpful to your organization.
So I personally love this project as much, not just because I love the organization and I'm into marketing, but I'm a car guy. So so anything involving cars is something I'm always connected to. But this is our license plate. You can be purchased at any tax collector here in the state of Florida, just like any of the other specialty plates. And 100% of the additional money that's spent on this versus your typical Florida license plate goes directly to Big Brothers Big Sisters at our state level. So at a state level, we've made over $1 million.
$1 million
that has gone straight to these kids from this license plate. So, and the neat thing about the license plate is it's very Florida, it's very beachy, but it's cool because it has our logos and things like that, and it starts a conversation. We have 2 empty beach chairs here, and the premise here is that we have a big and a little, and we need to fill these chairs so they can go to the beach. So what better way to start a conversation than walking through the parking lot, somebody sees your tag, says, oh, that's a really neat tag, what's that about? Now you're sharing, no matter if you can't volunteer, if you can't do something with us hands-on, a simple gesture of getting a tag allows you to be an advocate for us. And now we have a driving billboard that's helping us out as well. So.
I know, that is wonderful. Stephen, were you going to say something about that?
No, he said it all. He did it well.
No, I love how you phrased it when you said it's a driving billboard.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
It's so true. Do you, so I have to say, as many know, I'm a huge fan of Pam Iorio, who, of course, was Tampa's mayor. And then Big Brothers Big Sisters recruited her, and they moved the national organization to Tampa for her. So I think that's so significant and just gives us also a footprint.
Absolutely. I think that Tampa really is the center, really, of Big Brothers Big Sisters nationally. What she was able to do with our national organization was transform it in some very significant ways from a technological standpoint, from an expertise standpoint, across all levels, to get us where we are today. And our agency, we've been blessed because of our strong support here in this market. We are now, I think, the 5th largest Big Brother Big Sister agency in the nation.
Are you kidding?
No.
The 5th largest in the nation?
As far as children served.
Honestly, that gives me goosebumps.
Us too.
Look, I almost fell off the stool. That's so exciting.
It's very, very exciting. We, of course, want to be number one.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We want to be number one.
With your help, of course.
You know what? Honestly, guys, that is this is what really fills me with happiness.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do it. We need to get the show shared and get more people involved.
It's like the major markets like New York, Philadelphia, a big part of Texas where Dallas is. Those are the ones that are bigger than us. So we know we can be just as big because we have the capabilities here, and we have a caring community that really cares about our kids. And I don't care if you go back to America's Promise or what research you're relying on, putting a caring adult into the life of a child can be the most significant way to really help them succeed, not just from a social standpoint, but academically.
100%. And you know, I'm very honored also to be the host of Unlocking Tampa Bay for Visit Tampa Bay, and those shows also run on the network. So along with On the Record and, you know, the Love and Dating in America series, we run those shows as well. I bring that up because I work very closely with Santiago Corrada, the CEO of Visit Tampa Bay, and it is wonderful to see that Tampa right now is number one in tourism, hotel occupancy. So when we talk about being number one, I don't think we're far from being number one with your organization as well.
No.
We embrace it as a city and all of that. So that's definitely the mentality that we try to bring every day to work is being number one just means we're serving more kids, and that's really the goal.
And it's serving all kids. It's not just serving a segment of the population, it's really serving all kids who could benefit from having a big brother, big sister. So whether it's in a rural area or an urban area, it transcends religion, race, politics, I mean, everything. We truly serve all kids.
You know, it's interesting because I had Tom Wallace on here. He's the CEO of Florida Funders, if you know that name. But he is, and his company was named number one in Forbes magazine, right, for like a tech leader. But we were talking on the show, and he said one of his most important things that he has done in his life is also being a big brother. So it's just nice to see how many people do talk about it. So Tyler, how would you encourage people to come on board?
I mean, the best thing is obviously to just to either call us or go on our website. Our website here locally is bbbstampabay.org. That's BBB as in Big Brothers Big Sisters. But we'll make sure we provide you all those links and things like that as well. But you can go there and find a lot of information. What we do is we host, we're actually, one of the things we've kind of adapted to in this virtual world that we live in now, we're doing a lot of our orientations virtually now. So you can be at home with your family or with your work situation. You can be at home and learn about our organization through our orientation trainings. You can find those on our website. It's very simple. You go on, you sign up, and it's an interactive Zoom call that you can interact with a staff member and really find out everything there is to know about us, where you fit in, whether it's volunteering at an event to help us out, or maybe as a funder or as a board member, or what we really want is bigs. So those orientations are a great way to get that information. But yeah, I mean, you can go on our website and sign up there. You can submit an application, and we'll get the information to you and get you started. The kids are ready. I had a mom come to me just recently at one of our events and just almost tears in her eyes, which almost brought tears to mine, saying that she, her son had been on the waiting list for a year. And just looking at me saying, "Hey, you got the shirt on. What are you doing about that?"
Right.
And you know, and it's heartbreaking to tell her, like, right here, right now, this is what I'm doing about it every day. I mean, you want to take them all on. So yeah. I mean, if that speaks to you, you know, that's real. The kids are there. The kids need it. And when you talked about the value and what we're doing, I mean, we're not just guessing and saying the kids are doing great. We have statistics to back it up. I mean, 98% of our kids are going to the next grade level. 97% are staying out of the juvenile justice system. Those statistics
so
are
wonderful.
No one else is getting those kind of statistics, and it's because of what we do.
Because of what you do. We're wrapping up the show. We're running out of time. I'll give you the last 5 seconds, Stephen.
Yeah, I was just going to say there's no cost to a volunteer to do this either. You know, we have everything provided, the background checks, you know, the training and everything is provided free of charge. So it's really a way you can enhance yourself and your skills and grow as a person by volunteering with us.
Thank you so much. And we so appreciate you being here. I would like to say to the audience too, if you have a story that you would like to recommend like Tyler did with us, please email the team. We love sharing personal stories, love stories about nonprofits, but we need to hear from you. And again, you could be featured on the show. Also, we encourage people to share the show and share the positive messages that we bring. We're on multiple platforms, including Roku right now, in addition to all the social media platforms and a 24-hour streaming channel. So again, gentlemen, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Sarina.
We're huge supporters of Big Brothers Big Sisters. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.